Hi 3K, I've just come on to show you a little activity that you could do at home. Over the weekend I asked if you could maybe pick a flower out your garden, or maybe your adult's got some flowers at home that are kind of dying a little bit so you could borrow one. That's what I've done. And what we're going to do today together is dissect it, which is a scientific word for like pulling something apart and having a little look at what each part does. And we're going to dissect our flower so we can understand the anatomy of a flower. I've written that on my page as like a little title. I asked you to word zap the word anatomy because it's a posh science word. It's a scientific word which means kind of looking at how lots of different things work and pulling it apart to have a look at its structure, which kind of means how things are made up inside the flower. So we're going to pull it apart and have a look at all the different bits. Make sure you've watched the little video that I've put on the website to help you understand a little bit more about what I'm doing as well. Okay, so all you're going to need to do this is some sellotape, some scissors, a pen or pencil, and a flower. I've got mine here. It's a little bit dead, this flower. You can see some bits are coming off it already. It's some that I had in my house that are now a little bit dead, so I replaced them. Oh, look, a petal's falling off it. This flower's called a tulip and they're one of my favourites. They're lovely. They come in all different colours, so I thought I'd use this one today. Now, as I picked it up, actually, something fell off it that we can use for our dissection. We probably all know what this bit's called, hopefully. It's the colourful bit that attracts the insects. It's called the petal. So all I'm going to do is stick this on my page with my sellotape and label what part it is. Just give me a moment. Get my sellotape. And I'm going to write next door to it on my page the word petal. And I really liked in the video how it was described as like a little runway that attracts the insects into the flower. I thought that was a really clever idea. Now if I peel away some of the other petals, you can see straight into the middle of the flower. Look how cool that is. There's all different bits inside there. And all of these bits help for new flowers to grow. Okay, so the next bit I'm going to dissect, I'm going to use my scissors for this bit, is this little yellow bit in here. Now this has got a posh scientific name. It's called the anther, and on the anther is a yellow powder, and it's kind of falling all over the place actually, and if I rub it I get some of the yellow powder on my finger. The anther has the pollen on it, and the pollen's really important so new flowers can grow. Now that the anther with the pollen on has got a little stick underneath it to hold it up, and that little stick's also got a posh name. It's called the filament. Very posh and scientific. But the whole thing, the whole of that together, you'd call it the stamen. So the stamen is made up of the filament and the anther that's got the pollen on it. Very tricky and scientific. I'm just going to cut that bit out, dissect that part of my flower. There's a few different anthers with pollen on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this tulip that I've got here. Let me just cut some out and I'll stick them on my page. Oh, it's tricky business. So I've dissected just this little bit here. Oh, it's fallen off. It's hard to show you on the video. The yellow bit is called the anther with the pollen on it, and the stick underneath it is called the filament. I'm going to stick it on my page using my sellotape, and I'm going to label it. So this bit is called the anther, and it's got pollen on it. So I'm going to put anther with pollen on. The stick that holds it up is called the filament, but the whole thing when it's all together is called the stamen. So I'm going to do a big circle around it all and I'm going to write the word stamen. Now, there's another really important bit in the flower, and it's the bit right in the middle there that's kind of got that cross shape on top, and that's called the carpel. So I'm going to have a go at trying to cut that out now. The carpel. Oh, pollen is going everywhere on my little table here, and I've managed to cut it out. It's really, really beautiful actually when you look at it up close. This is called the carpel, and it's actually got some more posh names. The top bit is called the style, and then you also have the stigma, but together it's called the carpel. So I'm just going to get a bit of sellotape and stick that on my page. And next door to it, I'm going to label it the carpel. And then underneath that in the flower, I'm not going to be able to cut this bit out, but that's where the juicy nectar is that the bees like to take. Now there's another part of the flower that's not actually on this tulip. It's got big leaves here, this tulip, and obviously it's got this stem that holds up the flower on top. But some flowers have some little leaves at the bottom here, especially roses, and they're not actually little leaves, they're called the sepals. But this one doesn't have it, unfortunately. It's just got leaves here. I could trim off a leaf though and stick this one down on the page, and I can label that one the leaf. We know that one. And I could even take a bit of the stem, couldn't I? Cut a bit of the stem off and label that. The stem's different to the carpel because it's green. Going to stick that one at the bottom. And I'm going to label that the same. So here is my anatomy of the flower by dissecting a tulip and finding out what all the different parts are called. See if you can have a go at that. If you manage to have a go, take a photograph of it and you can email it to your teacher, or you can just send us the picture over Teams on the chat. Hope that's okay. Take care, make sure you're going outdoors in your garden to get a bit of sunshine and a bit of exercise, and see if you can find some other flowers in your garden maybe. See you soon, bye.